question. The Commerce Secretary yesterday said that Tesla stock is something that Americans should be buying. Is that the stance of the administration, that people should be investing in? Is that something that the Commerce Secretary should be recommending?
I think the Commerce Secretary was reiterating that the president supports an American-made company like Tesla, who produces a very good product for the American people, which was beloved by the American people, particularly Democrats, until Elon Musk decided to vote for Donald Trump. And now we've seen despicable and unacceptable violence taking place across our country at Tesla dealerships against workers, employees, and also innocent Americans who drive these vehicles. It's actually a scary time in our country because of this political violence from the left, and the White House and the president's entire administration condemn it wholeheartedly.
Caroline,
we'll see you guys at 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline.
Donald Trump's press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, just screwed up her job again, and that should come as no surprise to us. We know that Karoline Leavitt is bad at this, and that's not breaking news. But what is breaking news is the latest Trump violation of the Constitution that Leavitt tried and failed to spin. But it's not just Trump she's defending. She is also now defending Elon Musk and one of the most insane members of Donald Trump's cabinet, his Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. All of this, all of the pressure from pushing the lies and the propaganda, led Leavitt to just run away from the press because she can't take it anymore. She knows she's bad at her job. We're going to get into all of it, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into Leavitt running away, I want to check out what the context of her first question was. It was about the Department of Education, and Rachel Maddow did a great job breaking down Trump's attack on it.
With a sort of mysterious notice this afternoon, a reference to security concerns that went out to all employees at the U.S. Department of Education. Quote, beginning today at 6 p.m., all Education Department offices will be closed for security reasons. Employees must vacate the building by that time. This notice also said all Education Department offices would be closed tomorrow and no employees would be allowed in. Now, this notice had no details about what these security reasons were, but it was pretty clear what was coming. After all, we've been through this a couple of times already now. It was just over a month ago when people who work at USAID got an email saying their office would be closed the next day and they shouldn't come to work. That was right before Trump set about completely dismantling that whole agency. Employees at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, same thing, sent a very similar note saying their office would be shut for the following week, just as the White House ordered the entire agency to stop all of its work. And sure enough, tonight, just after the 6 p.m. deadline for Education Department workers to vacate their offices because of some security concern, Trump Education Secretary, the billionaire pro wrestling executive Linda McMahon, announced that her department is cutting its workforce in half. They will begin firing more than 1,300 people from the Education Department tonight. And then, of course, she went straight to Fox News.
That was the president's mandate, this directive to me, clearly is to shut down the Department of Education, which we know we'll have to work with Congress, to get that accomplished. But what we did today was to take the first step of eliminating what I think is bureaucratic bloat. And that's not to say that a lot of the folks, it's a humanitarian thing, too. A lot of the folks that are there, they're out of a job. But we wanted to make sure that we kept all of the right people and the good people.
If you find yourself starting to feel a little tug on your heartstrings for those 1,300 people who are out of a job tonight at the Education Department, don't worry. We kept all the good people.
Donald Trump promised to be a dictator on day one, and now he's executing on it. I warned people about it. You warned people about it. And of course, Kamala Harris warned people about it. But no one wanted to listen. This is all a part of Donald Trump's process to break agencies here, defy court orders there, until he fully has all of the power of our government in the Oval Office, to unlawfully share that power with him and Elon Musk. That is the terrifying end goal. This has nothing to do with the Department of Education. It has nothing to do with USAID. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump's deportation plan. It's all about breaking enough laws until laws completely don't apply to Donald Trump. That is their end goal. We saw Leavitt asked about that, and her response wasn't great. Then we'll check out the question that made her run from the press.
Where was their criticism of our nation's failing test scores for the last several decades? The Department of Education was founded in the 1970s, and since then we have spent more than $3 trillion at this federal bureaucracy. What has been the return on that investment for the American taxpayer? Levels that are less than ideal, less than proficient. Our children's test scores are incredibly concerning when it comes to reading rates, literacy rates, math, and science test scores. The numbers prove that, and the president is finally, this president is finally taking much needed action to return education to where it belongs, and that's to educators closest to students in their classrooms in their respective states. We're going to have a great event here later at 4 o'clock. There will be students here, teachers here, parents here, educators, and of course governors from around the country who are very excited about taking on this responsibility to educate our nation's students.
Who's going to run federal student loans?
So the Department of Education will be much smaller than it is today. As you know, the president's executive order directed Linda McMahon to greatly minimize the agency. So when it comes to student loans and Pell Grants, those will still be run out of the Department of Education, but we don't need to be spending more than $3 trillion over the course of a few decades on a department that's clearly failing in its initial intention to educate our students.
It was just a complete non-answer from Karoline Leavitt, but what else have we come to expect at this point? It wasn't somehow as bad as when she was asked about Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, who you may have seen losing his mind on every news channel lately. This is an insane and crazed individual. I thought Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., or Pete Hegseth were bad, but this dude is quite literally nuts. He was going on Hannity last night begging Americans to buy Teslas. I guess he's trying to win points with the co-president, Elon. But Karoline Leavitt was asked about this, and she couldn't take the heat.
Follow-up question. The Commerce Secretary yesterday said that Tesla stock is something that Americans should be buying. Is that the stance of the administration, that people should be investing in? Is that something that the Commerce Secretary should be recommending?
I think the Commerce Secretary was reiterating that the president supports an American-made company like Tesla, who produces a very good product for the American people, which was beloved by the American people, particularly Democrats, until Elon Musk decided to vote for Donald Trump. And now we've seen despicable and unacceptable violence taking place across our country at Tesla dealerships against workers, employees, and also innocent Americans who drive these vehicles. It's actually a scary time in our country because of this political violence from the left, and the White House and the president's entire administration condemn it wholeheartedly.
Caroline,
we'll see you guys at 4 o'clock.
Caroline.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Caroline.
Obviously, Karoline Leavitt was going to run away after giving a non-answer to that question because she doesn't want the follow-up. That's why are they so comfortable breaking the law? Everything done in this administration is either unlawful or, at the least, an ethics violation. At least that's what the car commercial on the White House lawn was. Ridiculous. And there's so much law breaking in this administration that we didn't even take a moment to recognize that that shouldn't have been allowed to happen. It was a complete ethics violation. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk are consistently breaking so many laws daily that we can't even keep up with it. And that is largely the point of all this. If they break as much as they possibly can, as quickly as they can, we can't keep up. They expect us to just get sad and feel like there's nothing we can do, and maybe that'll shut us up or suppress the free press. But we can't let that happen. We have to continue to keep calling them out. Two people who did a great job on both of these issues, calling out the idiocy and unlawful actions of Donald Trump, were Jessica Tarlov and Chris Murphy.
Again, reiterate, I draw the line at arson. No one should be setting cars on fire. But I would argue, no, this is an important point. It's a free market point. But also, we talked about Dylan Mulvaney, a single trans influencer who was on a single can of beer for months. And that can of beer set the conservative movement on proverbial fire, rooting against at least half an American company, the Anheuser-Busch side of things. Kid Rock out there doing target practice with Budweiser cans, people vowing to decimate that brand. And Dylan Mulvaney has much less of an impact on people's lives than Elon Musk does. So is that okay? Or that was wrong too, and everyone wants to mea culpa over that? It was one can of beer with one transgender person on it.
No one was intimidated not to buy Bud Light.
Really? Then why did it drop?
No,
why did they lose market value?
Because it wasn't Dylan Mulvaney. It was the marketing person who denigrated the people who drank the beer.
Really?
The billionaire class, the corporate class, the private equity class, they are sick to death that they don't have their hands inside the Department of Education Treasury, that they can't get their hands on our schools like they've gotten their hands into our healthcare system and into every other aspect of our economy. What they want to do is to sell off our public schools to the highest bidder. Right? The voucher program that they're talking about, that they will be more easily able to implement if the Department of Education is gone, is really about just making it easier for the billionaire and corporate class to be able to buy up our schools so that they can make money off of it like they make money off of the Medicare program, like they make money off of so many other aspects of our government. So if the Department of Education closes, it's going to hurt millions of families in this country. It's just going to enable the theft of resources from regular families to pad the pockets of the billionaires. But it is also likely to result in you waking up one day and finding out that your local elementary school that your kids go to is owned by a private equity firm on the other side of the country and is being run for profit instead of being run for the education of your kid.
I love that Jessica returned to this point because I've seen so many people do the woe is Elon bit. Oh, these liberals are so angry. I thought this was the party of empathy, not for the guy actively killing people. Elon Musk is cutting off the food supply and humanitarian aid to millions around the globe. Elon is going after Social Security, actively causing Americans to die because of it. There are 30,000 deaths each year related to complications with people getting their Social Security. Maybe it doesn't come on time. Maybe it doesn't come at all. And now Elon Musk is trying to shut down the resources that make sure people get these $65 a day. They need that to survive. Elon is costing people their lives. So, yeah, I'm sorry if it's a criminal act for me not to want to buy his Tesla car, but that's not as bad as Donald Trump sending his armed mob to storm the Capitol or MAGA blowing up Bud Light cans because a trans woman drank one beer. You people are ridiculous and hypocritical in the highest order. But thankfully, a lot of these actions that I've talked about, actions that Elon is committing, that make me not want to buy his Tesla car like I ever would in the first place, are going down in the courts. Rachel Maddow talked about that right here.
Additionally, on top of that ruling where USAID employees are reinstated by court order along with all those other agencies, a standalone blockbuster ruling from another federal judge today specifically ordering the Trump administration to reconstitute USAID and stop their efforts to shut it down, even to let them back into their building. The judge in this case said that the shutdown of USAID, quote, likely violated the United States Constitution in multiple ways.
We do still have agency, and we can still win these fights against Elon Musk if we try. We have to keep trying, and we are certainly going to be doing so on this show every single day. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around until the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.